And we're back. We're
Yeah.
live. Yay. It's Friday.
Live. There we
Time for a
go.
new review.
Yes, thank God it's Friday.
Um, so, how are you doing, Remy?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm glad it's Friday. Glad it's another week gone through. Tomorrow I get to go watch a new My Hero movie with some buddies, so that'll be fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, we'll see how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, no, that's about it. I was kind of chilled out today, decorated a little bit for Halloween. Put up decorations for Halloween on the 11th, so better late than never, I guess.
Cool. Cool. I worked and then did a little bit of grocery shopping and came home, ate dinner, and got ready for the show.
Nice. I have not eaten dinner yet. I'm going to eat it after the show.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm hoping the show does not last as long as it usually does.
Oh, well, in that case, we'll go longer.
Okay, cool. We'll go for an extra 2 hours.
Talk about absolutely nothing
Yes.
for 2 hours.
We'll just sit here in silence.
Just stare at each other.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, for those of you joining us or checking this video out later, thank you. Thank you for checking us out. If this is your first time here, please hit the like and subscribe button. It goes a long way for helping our channel grow. I do appreciate it. That being said, we are in the process of reviewing the 1994 anime series Mobile Fighter G Gundam. And if this is your first time checking us out and you're not familiar with the Fighter G Gundam series, it is a little bit of a departure from the normal Gundam mythos in that rather than it being 2 or 3 factions fighting a big war with each other and blowing up colonies and everything, it's more of a street fighter battle where each nation sends one representative to fight for their nation in the hopes of winning the election to rule over the entire world for 4 years.
Yes. Politics.
Yeah. So in the story, they've been doing this for 60 years. This was their way of finding a peaceful solution to the constant world wars that was going on and stuff. So, so very interesting mythos, and like I said, a big departure from the normal kind of Gundam storyline. So this week we're talking about episodes 11 through 15. Very good episodes. Gets more into the Dark Gundam and what its capabilities are. So we will get started.
Yes.
Uh,
We get to see Master Asia. Yay!
Yes. So before we start talking about it, episode 11, what were your overall thoughts of these 5 episodes?
I thought they were really great. I know I keep repeating myself every week, but I thought these were probably some of the best episodes we've watched so far of the series, or I've seen so far. Like, the amount of twists and turns that they had in them. And actually, I thought they were the most action-packed episodes we've had, too. It was just kind of nonstop, and there was I like the fact, too, that we didn't just go from one location to the next in these ones. We kind of stayed in the same location for the majority of these episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, we got 3 episodes in the same area.
Yeah, and we're still going to be in the same area, I think, for the next episode. But I think that one's the last one. That's going to be
probably
in Shinjuku. Yeah, I think it was.
So definitely agree with you on that. We also get a little bit of a backstory into Rain in these episodes too. So which is nice. Yeah. Kind of fill her personality out.
Yep.
And so we will get started. Let me hit the right button. There we go. All right. So in episode 11, we open up in India, right?
I think so.
Yeah, pretty sure. Nice, yeah. Taj Mahal. Duh.
Yeah. Culture.
So opens up, nice rainy scene. The we see this. Come on, focus.
There we go.
This is the new Gundam that we're meeting, the representative for India, and apparently he's acting up because we find out from the narrator that uh, the military is after him. And,
Yes. After some destruction he caused.
yes, and we don't know why, but
Yep.
another shot of him, really cool scimitar sword is his main weapon. Always been a fan of scimitars ever since reading Drit Steward, so it's always cool when I get to see one. And with that, we open up with rain in the rain, standing next to like a homeless guy, seeing a military procession going through, kind of searching for the pilot, and kind of nice and peaceful. And then as she's walking along, she's going past like a big building, and this guy that you can kind of see makes a noise, and she realizes that it's somebody she knows, so she goes over to help him.
Yeah. His name is like Sete or something like that.
Something like that. So she, I think Domon shows up too and helps her. Couldn't remember if it was right away or not, but eventually she gets him into like a hotel room, and she's treating him and examining him.
Yeah.
And right here, she lifts up his sleeve before he can stop her, and sees the Dark Gundam cells growing on him. So, what kind of popped through your head up to this point?
Well, saying that, I was like, what? That was just like the main thought I was thinking of. I was like, what am I looking at? What is this? And so when they started going into it, like, oh, these are like dark. This is like the Devil Gundam cells. I'm like, that's interesting. So it can not only affect metal, but it can also affect organic matter, like humans. So I was thinking to myself, like, oh, do we have like a zombie kind of thing going on here, or it's just an infection that can spread across to anybody? And of course, they even show here this rat where it just freaking goes ballistic and kills a bunch of its fellow Ratians.
Yeah, and they explain that it affects the cell structure, but it doesn't take over the host until it gets to the brain.
Yeah.
So before that point happens, they can still be cured.
Yeah.
Whatever that cure is.
Yeah, but if it gets to the brain, then like they just become nothing but like mindless killing machines.
Yeah. So after we get all this lovely exposition and find out more about how the Dark Gundam operates, Rain goes to prepare an injection for the guy to try and help him, but he pops up because the cells start mutating and take control of him temporarily. Yeah. So he starts choking her and causes her to like knock everything over. And
I think she
calls out his
name, and that like knocks him out of it.
And then next thing you know, he's passed out, and Domon comes in like, "What's going on?"
Exactly. What are you doing? Of course, and like usual.
He finds out that this guy's the Gundam fighter for the country, and so of course he wants to challenge him to a fight right away. And Rain's like, "No, you can't do that. He's sick. He's not well. You can't." And he's like, "I don't care. He's got to fight.
He's not in good condition."
So it's revealed that what happened was he was challenged to a fight. He went out there, and it turned out that it was a trap from the Dark Gundam. So he tried to attack it. Uh, made a very nice attempt to slice his head off, but it just grabbed him, slammed him up
and
against
just
the wall.
started like kind of like infecting him while it was holding him.
Yeah. So after we have this flashback, he gets back up again, starts leaving, and we see that now his whole arm is covered in the G cell, so it's not looking too good for him.
Yeah.
So he decides to accept Domon's challenge, and he goes back to his Gundam because Domon had found it earlier, and everything because he had found like the Gundam's remote.
Yeah.
And
I think so.
used
Yeah, no, that's right.
the key or whatever, and used it to track down the Gundam, and that's kind of how he put two and two together.
Mm-hmm.
So when this guy gets back in, as he starts activating his Gundam, all of a sudden all these cables wrap him up and take full control over him.
Yeah. And he just becomes a completely murderous like monster that just repeats the destruction that he caused like earlier in that one situation or that one flashback.
And of course, Domon, starts fighting him and everything. Manages to slice his Gundam arm off, but tendrils come out of the Gundam and heal it up.
Yeah, it just like put it back into place again.
Yeah. So they give us a couple shots of the pilot after he's been wrapped up, and you can see the cells on his face, and like his whole body's just covered in these cables.
Yeah, it's starting to show that like with the metal on his face, it's starting to show that the cells are getting closer and closer to his brain. So it's just like a matter of time before he's completely underneath its control.
Yeah. And he manages to knock Domon down and tries to use his blade to just kind of slice through. Domon's doing his best to hold him off, and then Rain jumps on top of the mech to try and reach the guy.
Yes, stand right between the giant sword. Good job.
Yeah, and of course Domon's like, "Get out of the way, you moron!
Get out of the way!"
You stupid girl.
I'm trying struggling to hold it back. So if it inches closer to you, that's not really a good thing.
Yeah, because usually in the Gundam universe, when they have like a melee weapon, it's all metal, rather than like a beam saber. It's a heat weapon, so that means that it has like high heat to just slice through metal like butter.
Mm-hmm.
So that's got to be pretty toasty right there.
Yeah, exactly.
But her words do actually work. It manages to get him to at least pause long enough for Domon to jump up and do the shining finger. And this time, instead of like blowing up the head or anything, it just sets it on fire. And
yeah, it kind of burns the
dark. Yeah. So he managed to save the guy's life using the burning finger or shining finger. And that was pretty much that episode.
Yeah. And then, and then him and Rain say their goodbyes, and that's when Domon and them just head off.
Yeah.
And say, the usual.
Overall, go ahead.
Oh, my bad. No, you can go. My bad.
I was just going to ask you what your overall thoughts were on that episode.
Oh, yeah. But no. Yeah, good episode. It was cool seeing some backstory with Rain. Like, it wasn't particularly her backstory, but it was cool seeing, like, someone that she knew for once, rather than, like, what Domon, like, was more familiar with. So it was, like, we got a little bit more insight about what kind of people she ran with and who her friends were back then in college. And, like, it kind of almost gave like this love triangle a little bit to it, because like it kind of makes you think that did this guy have feelings for Rain when they were like friends, but then she kind of fell for Belmont instead. So it's just like, but I don't dwell on it too much, which is a good thing because I think love triangles are freaking annoying. But like, yeah, but it was still a good episode. But yeah, no, I still enjoyed it. And plus, we got like some more insight on what the Devil Gundam is capable of, and those G cells like are pretty terrifying when you think about it. You're like, wow, an entire organic person could literally just turn into a robot. That's creepy.
Yeah. And the interesting thing too is we find out that like Rain didn't volunteer to help Domon out. She was told that she had to.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right.
Because she was at school, and then her dad called her and was like, "Yeah, you got to drop everything and come and help Domon."
Yeah, her dad was telling her about what happened to Domon's family, like his dad, his mom, his brother, and then he was just telling her like, you gotta come over here and you gotta help him.
Yeah. All right, on to episode 12. Takes us to the heart of Tokyo.
Shinjuku.
Yep, Shinjuku District, one of the famous buildings that's in almost every anime that takes place in Tokyo.
Yeah, or in every Godzilla movie that takes place in Shinjuku.
I
think I don't know if we've ever seen this building in a Godzilla movie before. Have we?
Usually, I mean, it's definitely the tower.
Yeah, the tower I know, but like, have we ever seen this one in any?
It might have been in 2000.
Okay, we had to have seen it at least in one of the Heisei films, right? Maybe Space Godzilla?
Possibly.
Either Space Godzilla or Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. I'm not going to go look back.
Yeah.
It is too much work. I'm not doing that.
Sorry, my foot's hurting. All right. So this one opens up, and we find out that the whole city has been pretty much destroyed, except for the one building.
Yeah, not even destroyed. It's literally been like almost taken over. They reveal later, or they kind of reveal now, I guess. Like something's going on with it.
Yeah. So these guys are kind of, talking about what's going on and determine that there's essentially been a sighting of something revolving around a Dark Gundam.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, we're going to send Domon there, and he's going to deal with it. And they called the general guy that was trying to screw Domon over earlier and tell him, hey, like, this is what we're doing. And he's like,
and he's weirdly with them.
Yeah.
He's like, no, you're right. We should do that. We should go. We should send him over there. This is like, okay. He had a change of heart pretty quickly, but all right.
And I would get a little sneak peek of what the Dark Army looks like.
Yeah. Really interesting design. They look almost like Cyclops when I was like looking at them.
Yeah, and what's crazy is like in their default form, they're walking around on these four-legged pod things.
Yeah.
And then if something happens to those four-legged pods, it turns out that their backpack is bipedal legs. And it just comes down, and then they walk on two legs instead of four. Which was crazy to see.
It's like, oh, we got rid of your legs. You thought.
Yeah.
What?
So after all this, we get Domon and Rain kind of like, just getting into the city, and they're like, what the hell? Yeah. And all of a sudden the wind picks up, and they see this ship come crashing at them. Domon's ready to fight it because he thinks somebody's attacking him.
Of course.
And Rain's like, no, there's somebody in there. We got to go help them. So they run over to check it out, and there's this mysterious person watching them, from behind. And just after they get done talking with the pilot, which I think he dies.
Yeah, that or he passes out.
Yeah. They don't really make it clear, but
one to two. Either passes out or he dies.
He hands off data to them, and then as soon as he does that, they suddenly notice that they are completely surrounded by the Dark Army.
Yeah.
And Domon does something to try and draw their attention to give Rain a chance to call the core lander, and they skedaddle on it. Of course, the Dark Army chases after them, And just as he's about ready to call the Shining Gundam, a mysterious figure pops out.
Yes. And he saves them. He destroys the absolute crap out of these things.
Yeah, he grabs Domon's bandana,
Yeah, he uses
the
like a
headband.
whip almost, and
Yeah,
like
rips that off of
through
one,
the head. Yeah,
and then flips another one over just by lifting a concrete slab.
how? I don't understand how though.
And then it's revealed that it's Master Asia. So
Master
him
Asia.
him and Domon, do a little sparring thing and
Yeah.
get this goofy pose.
Yeah, I love it. I love it so much. Like this is like the first time we've ever seen like they kind of mentioned it too. This is the first time we've ever seen Delmon like kind of act like a goof.
Yeah.
That's thanks to Master Asia.
So
So yeah,
they have their little spar and laugh, and Rain's like, "Oh, can't remember the last time I heard Domon laugh." And Master Asia reveals that he's protecting the area, and the Dark Army is basically has the whole area surrounded, and they attack pretty much anything that acts aggressive towards them, kind of thing.
yeah,
And he reveals that he's fighting on behalf of Hong Kong, China, and was challenged. And when he showed up, the Dark Gundam, attacked, and so. Am I forgetting something?
No, I think that covers the majority of it.
Yeah.
Because like he did get ambushed by the Devil Gundam, but then and that's it really. He just got ambushed and managed to escape.
So they're at the tower building, and basically the mayor of the city is there, and a bunch of civilians that survived the initial onslaught.
And they're like the last bit of people like there in Juku, just all crowded in that area.
And they're doing their best to get by with what little supplies that they have as far as food and water and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. They've got some defensive military unit style machines. They're called mobile suits, not Gundams. So they're like mass produced. They all look the same.
Yeah, and they're smaller than the Gundams, aren't they? They're a little shorter.
A little bit smaller, but not much.
Yeah.
So, and the mass-produced units are pretty common in the Gundam series. Mm-hmm. There's always like mass-produced units that are kind of like the foot soldiers, and then like a Gundam or a Gundam equivalent is usually like a special ops machine that was designed to like end the war kind of thing and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So they talk and get Domon agrees to help out with defending the building, and they get warning that the army's approaching, so they come up with a plan to try and trick the army to walking into the ocean to their demise.
Yeah, they're going to have all the mobile suits kind of circle around the area as like a defense mechanism, and then Master Asia and Domon would act as distractions for the rest of the army and like lead them out into the sea. Basically, what the plan was. Which actually goes pretty well.
Yeah. So this is Master Asia's Gundam, which is pretty cool looking.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
And
I love too how like it's one of the first Gundams that actually does a bunch of funny poses because of him. So it's like the fighting style he has for it is just so quick and like it's like very quick and agile. So it's so weird seeing this big heavy machine just like do this or like do that and just sort of like a bunch of weird blocks and everything like that.
And what's interesting too is he doesn't get the skin suit when he's in it.
Oh yeah, you're right. He doesn't.
He stays in his gi the whole time.
Wow, wow, you're right. Did I just notice that? You telling me that? Wow. Okay.
Way to pay attention, man.
Okay. Hey. I might have noticed, but I might have forgotten. I'm like, oh yeah, no, he doesn't have that suit.
Yeah.
Which is even more crazy because it's like, how was he able to control it then?
Yeah.
Magic.
So him and Domon fly off. You can see some of the military units behind them, and like we said, they're trying to distract the army and draw them into the ocean that's nearby. Along the way, of course, Domon and Master Asia are fight some of the units that approach them, and both of them just slice through them like they're nothing.
Yeah.
We got a pretty cool pose and shot with Master Asia's Gundam.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was pretty cool when it went into like this skeleton mode. So I grabbed it.
Isn't there? No, never mind. I thought it was this moment, but no, I was wrong. I thought it was when both him and Domon kind of like tag teamed and created that huge like attack. Was that in this episode or was that the next episode?
No, it was this episode.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember. Might have been right before this shot. So that pose was them getting ready to do their big blast together.
Yeah, it was like basically Master Asia's Gundam kind of like spinning around or something like that, and it creates like like spinning beam, and Domon kind of like shoots it out like a Kamehameha, and it just freaking bulldozes through like half the army. Looked amazing.
Then, they got him spinning like a top, and then launch it head first.
And its head, Master Asia's head is like at the top of like the.
Yeah,
it's such a weird image. It's like, why is his head there and not his Gundam's head instead of his own human? Okay, whatever.
And then this was one of the Dark Army soldiers that, like one of the, back at the base building, one of the Dark Army units was kind of walking around. It wasn't doing anything, but it was looking around, scaring everybody. So one of the defense guys activates his Gundam, his mobile suit, shoots it in its quad leg. It falls over, and he's like, "Ha, I did it!" And then it drops off the quad legs, forms the two, like you see here.
Yeah.
Gets up, goes to attack, and Domon gets back just in time to do a shining finger on its head.
Yeah, and just like freaking destroys that head.
Yeah. So it falls over, and this all took place at like night. And then the next morning, Domon and Rain are sitting there outside of the Shining Gundam talking, and the cockpit opens on the Dark Army unit, and out pops this thing.
Yeah, my God. So freaking creepy and weird. I hate it. Kill it.
Works well for Halloween.
Yeah, it does. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, wow, a lot of the episodes are really working well for October. This is interesting.
Yeah.
First mummy, now we have freaking skeleton, zombie, alien, mech things. I'm like, awesome.
And so we find out later on that this is what happens when the G cells take full control over a body.
Yeah, and at the same time, this happens. Master Asia. Well, before this happens, Master Asia comes back because he managed to lure out the rest of the army into the sea, and they all are taken care of. And that happens at the same time when Domon returns back and touches that one mech's head. But then, he comes back and he notices that the hatch is opening up. So and then they see this, and Master Asia just immediately just goes fire, boom! It's like it freaking sets it on fire with just like a swat of his hand,
wave of his hand,
yeah.
But he also does like a little smirk too, which alludes to the revelation in the next episode.
Oh, okay. I don't think I noticed the smirk.
Yeah, it was like a smirk, or something like that.
I don't know. I didn't notice the smirk. He just can't, like, to me, it just kind of seemed like he was just like, oh, what is that thing? And then, like, destroyed it before it could attack Delmon and Rain.
Yeah. But, yeah, like, I don't know. To me, it looked like he had, like, a little knowing grin on his face.
It might have been. You could be right. I don't know. I probably missed it. Or was probably finishing up the last of my oatmeal. I missed that shot. I don't know.
Overall, how did you feel about episode 12?
Really fun, really good episode. I like the designs that we saw of the Dark Army and Master Asia's mech. His Gundam was pretty cool looking. Master Asia himself was cool. I like that. I like the camaraderie that him and Dolmon had in this episode. It was actually nice seeing Dolmon happy for a change and actually like kind of like, so I don't know. I always like it when in fiction, when apprentices and masters meet up with each other after a while and they're like in sync with each other, like immediately. It's like, we have to defeat the enemy. Like, of course, sir. And they like just freaking obliterate every opponent they come across. Because it's just like, one of them is already tough enough, but both of them combined, we stand no chance. It's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like that. Yeah, no, it was a good episode. And like, of course, the best part was that combined attack they had that just like created that huge explosion. I was like, oh, that looks awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely some good stuff with them.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into episode 13.
13.
We open up again with the dark, with them getting it opens up with them getting a piano broadcast. Somebody playing the piano. And they determine that it's at the tower, the Tokyo Tower. So Domon and Master Asia volunteer to go and rescue the people, the survivors that are stuck there.
Yeah.
And so they get close to it, and Master Asia determines that they need to have a little competition.
Yeah.
And so he's outside of his Gundam. Dark Army starts shooting at him, and he just dances around on the bullets. And manages
even I was just like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, no way. I'm like, oh, bull. No, I'm calling bull crap in this. No.
And he catches two of them and jams them both to the barrel of one of the Dark Army, destroying it. I was like, what the heck?
I know. I'm like, first of all, no. I'm like, first of all, how the hell does the Dark Army's bullets match the exact size that Master Asia can grab them and toss them back? I'm like, no, shouldn't those bullets be like half his size? I'm like, how's that possible?
Yeah. So they kind of blast past all the army, and they get to the close to the tower. Master Asia's like, hey, let's race and see who can get there first. So he jumps out of his Gundam, runs into a tunnel, and Domon's like, well, all right, I guess,
Yeah, and he follows suit afterwards.
But Rain shows up first, and she tells him that something's not right.
Mm-hmm.
But he's so focused on following Master Asia that he just brushes her off, and he's like, you stay here and guard the Gundam.
Yeah. Well, he also goes, he's like, yeah, something's wrong with the
right hand.
Yeah, the machine that like puts the cloak over him or whatever. And she's like, really? And as soon as he says that, she like turns, and then he's gone in the next second. She's like, damn it.
So he's walking his way through the tunnel and stumbles onto a subway train. Gets on, and Jiminy Cricket's on there and starts attacking him. And ends up almost kicking him completely off as it's moving.
Yeah, he's got like his foot on his throat with like the tracks going underneath him.
Yeah. So Domon manages to fight his way back up, kind of butts heads with him, and then jumps out on his own. And being monitored by Sasushi.
Yeah.
Uh,
And you kind of this is like something too that kind of caught me off guard when looking at these characters when they showed up. You notice that their like pupils are like smaller than usual. You're like something's wrong
Yeah.
with them. Like I immediately knew. I was like, no, something's wrong. Like their eyes are a lot more wider and like joyful than they look right now. Right now they look like aggressive and they look like evil. I was like, no, this ain't right. I don't trust
Yeah.
this. I sense bullshit about.
Um, so they so as this is going on, the Dark Army shows up around the Shining Gundam, and Rain's in there trying to like fend them off with just some remote control gloves. She's like, "This isn't going to work. If I put the suit on and go full interactive, then I can defend myself at least."
Yeah.
So she puts the suit on, and it knocks her to her knees.
Yeah. They said, yeah.
And complains about how tight it is.
And the sound effects she makes too. The suits me put on her. I'm like, okay. Hey, I'm down. Anime, stop it.
And they are fair. So we got shots of Domon's butt.
Yeah, we got a shot of Domon's butt, so why not a shot of Rain's butt? And I was like, of course, freaking course. Although I have to admit, I really do like the suit she has on. Like, I'm not saying I'm not being a pervert with saying that. I'm actually like meaning it. It's like, no, I actually like the color scheme that goes on with it. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, because you almost expected it to be the same exact thing as Domon's, but it's like, no, it's actually feminine. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, actually has some color on it. Well, of course it'd be freaking feminine.
So as soon as she's done suiting up, it cuts back to Domon. He's made his way into like a conjunction point where like multiple tracks can join or meet up, and all of a sudden a bunch of train cars start flying at him, and it's revealed that
Mr. Russia,
his Russian friend is literally throwing the cars at him.
Yeah, freaking.
And he's like, dude, what the heck?
Yeah, he's like, what are you doing, bro? He's like, I'm come here to challenge you. It's like, okay.
And then it cuts back out to Rain. She's doing pretty well fending herself against the Dark Army. Yeah. Knocks back a few, and then decides to try and flee. And all of a sudden, this thing pops up and attacks her from behind. What did you think of this new Gundam when you saw it pop up?
Oh, I love the design of it. First of all, I was like, "Oh, that's a cool design. Oh, I love it so much." And then, but also, I was thinking to myself, "I'm like, what? Who? What? Where? What? What is this thing? Where'd it come from? Where'd it come from? Where'd it go? Where'd it come from? Damanjo. Yeah, but I was just like, oh, because like at the beginning of the episode, they mentioned that like Damon's gonna like meet up with the other characters he's met, but they also mentioned there's gonna be like a mysterious new Gundam, and you kind of see like a little glimpse of it, so that kind of like built up the anticipation for this one because you're like, okay, we saw that there's gonna be new Gundams. When's it gonna show up? And so when it shows up in this, you're like, oh crap,
yeah,
it's here.
So we don't get to see much else with this fight because it cuts back to Domon making his way through. Finally gets to the room where the piano was being played. Finds George, and George is like, haha, you fell into the trap. And then these three bust through and immediately go to start attacking Domon.
Yeah, they all tag team him.
Yeah. And,
like freaking Argo like literally grabs him and like tosses him to the wall, and it's just like, damn.
Yeah.
Like the animation, like the impact of that hit, I was like, oh my god.
And the whole time he's like he keeps commenting about each person that he fights, like how much stronger they feel.
Yeah, like
something's not right.
Yeah, they're like not holding back in this fight at all. Like they're like going for the kill almost.
And so they stop their attack to kind of taunt him, somewhat invite him to join them.
Yeah, because the power of the one, as George calls it.
Yeah. And they keep alluding to that warrior, and he accuses them of joining his brother.
Yeah.
And so, but he manages to break out. He gets away from them. They do chase him outside, and then meets up with uh, Rain.
Who like literally
Oh,
crashed.
because
Yeah.
the Shining Gundam fell through. That's right.
Yeah. Because like the other Gundam like probably like punched her, like tossed her down. So she just like comes crashing down on the Shining Gundam, like right in front of Domon.
Yeah, so he gets in, suits up, and then kind of takes control over the Shining Gundam. And then this guy shows back up and starts doing like a dark finger attack.
Yeah.
Of course, Domon, activates the Shining Finger, and he's struggling to resist the Dark Finger or whatever the attack is that the
No,
other
it's dark.
Gundam's doing. And so to fend off this one and the other 4 Gundams, Domon and Rain work together to do like an ultimate Shining Finger.
Yeah. Well, like join together because the dark finger that the other Gundam is using is like actually overpowering his Shining Finger. Like he can't really
Yeah.
hold it back. So they're just like, we have to do it together. So
Yeah.
then like you're saying, they join up and then manages to actually kind of like push back against the dark finger attack and disorientate the other 4 Gundams for a while.
And then they kind of pass out from the effort when they come to. Opens up the hatch and he sees Master Asia's Gundam in front of him, but it looked like the way that it happens is it transitions from this double like demon looking Gundam into Master Asia's Gundam.
Yeah, it's like they're like fading in and out of each other when he like wakes up.
And then maybe this is where he makes the
smiling.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
You could be right. Yeah. But yeah, no, Master Asia pops out and he's kind of just like, be on the lookout, Domon. Seems like we might be in a bit of a pickle. We might be in trouble here or something like that. And of course, you're probably right. This is probably when he gives like a slight smile. So you're just like, oh, like, I don't know. Like, no, well, that was me. I was like, oh, come on. I was like, damn it. I knew it was too good to be true.
What were your overall thoughts of episode 13?
Really good episode. I really enjoyed it. Like, it was cool seeing the four characters again. It was seeing them back. But of course, like immediately when I saw them, I was like, okay, something's up with them. They're not their normal selves. Like something's controlling them or something's going on. And it was cool to see like Domon actually fight outside of his Gundam again this time around.
Yeah.
Like that entire fight between him and the 4 other Gundam fighters was actually cool. I really liked animation during that fight. And I thought it was actually really neat to see Rain actually take control of Gundam for a while. I was like, oh man, I wish we saw more of her take control of Gundam because she actually handles it pretty well.
Yeah.
So I was just like, damn, I kind of want to see her take control of the Gundam more than I want to see Domon take control of it. This looks cool. I'm like, I like her suit. Like I like her like kind of like clumsiness a little bit when she's controlling the Gundam because she's not really accustomed to it like he is.
Yeah.
I mean, but she was still handling business. So I was just like, oh man, I wish hopefully we see more of this. But yeah, no, it was a good episode. I enjoyed it. And of course, a little kind of bit of a twist at the end where you're just like, oh, is Master Asia not what he seems? Is there more?
Yeah. We do get to see Rain suit up a couple times throughout the series. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah. All right, on to episode 14. We open up kind of recap of what happened in the last episode. They're kind of relaxing. Everybody's eating and stuff. We get a little flash of this. It's kind of like there's this heartbeat noise, and this is what it reveals. And then it cuts to Rain kind of in the control room watching the monitors.
And they're talking about, well, actually, before this, they're talking about seeing 4 mysterious objects like making their way towards Earth.
Yeah.
And they're like, what is that? And that's what she's in the control room for at first. She's like, have there been like any updates about what those things are? And or is like, no, we don't know what they could be. And then that's when she notices Master Asia going down this subway. And so she decides to follow him.
Yeah. And so she's driving towards the location on a bike. And as she's driving, she pulls out a gun. And
she got the Glock on her. She's like,
or 1911 or something.
Boomstick.
Yeah. And so she goes down the same path and, tries to follow him. And she gets to a certain point. She walks into a room, and all of a sudden there's these flashing lights that hypnotize her. And Master Asia closes the door behind her and runs off.
Yeah, and the lights like kind of lure her, begin luring her to somewhere. We don't know where yet. That's what doesn't reveal it, but she's just like following them.
Yeah. And then cut to Domon fighting his way through a bunch of the Dark Army, along with Master Asia. They're working their way to try and I think there was like something that was drawing them out.
Yeah. There was more of them coming out than usual, I think is what it was.
And then as they're going along, all of a sudden George pops up and, of course, goes to attack Domon, which leads to the other 3 popping up and surrounding him again.
Yeah.
And Master Asia's disappears for a while at this point.
Yeah, and at this point, Domon's getting his ass kicked again because all 4 of them tag team him in the Gundam suits.
Yeah. And then I think, so then it cuts back to Rain, and she's walking along, and she ends up going into this room, and I thought I did a better shot. So she finds all these pods, and she's walking through, and she kind of snaps to.
Yeah.
And then realizes holy crap, there's all these things in there. They start opening up. And then
well, actually, first before she does that, she finds almost all the characters we've
all the associates.
Yeah. The Warren the warden in charge of Argo. Some of them
Shaolin monks,
the Shaolin monks, some Crockett's
Jiminy
girls.
Crockett's girls.
Yeah. And it's just what are they doing here? And so she grabs something, I think she was the bottom of her gun or something like that, and just starts busting the control panels or whatever for the machines, and they start releasing them. But then that's when the skeletal zombie mech things wake up, and she starts shooting them.
Yeah, she manages to shoot one a few times and knocks it down.
Yeah,
the rest start coming surrounded. And they're all surrounded and everything, which doesn't look good. And then, of course, it cuts back to Domon getting his ass kicked all over the area. And they're all doing special attacks and stuff. And George launches his net.
Yeah, and then George is join us, Domon.
And so Master Asia pops up, and Domon's like, all right, yeah, I'm saved. And
of course, freaking, as this is going on, when Master Asia comes down at first, you're like, yay!
Yeah.
We all okay. And they cut back to these characters running, and the warden is telling Rain, it's Master Asia brought us here. And then all of a sudden we found ourselves inside these pods.
Yeah.
So you're just great. So and of course, Master Asia is revealed to be the mastermind behind all of this.
And then his Gundam starts transforming, which was a pretty cool transformation.
Yeah, and I love the look of it, and becomes the Dark Gundam.
Yeah. So then so Domo gets pissed off, goes to activate his Shining Finger. This is when Master Asia activates his Dark Finger, and they have like competition with it. But Domo is weakened, so his arm starts taking damage. And just as you think his arm's about to explode, like how he did to Jiminy Crockett's Gundam in the past, the four mysterious objects crash land, and it's revealed that they're the Shuffle Alliance. Shuffle Alliance, which is what Master Asia used to be a part of.
Yeah, like you got all of them. You got the Jester,
Joker, Clubs, Jack, Joker, and Queen.
Yep.
And Ace.
Yeah, all poker references.
Yep. Ace of Diamonds, Jack of Clubs, Queen of Spades, and then the Joker.
Yes.
Because Domon's the King of Hearts.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's a new King of Hearts because Master Asia elected him as a new one.
And so basically Master Asia's like, all right, you've got a reprieve for now. We'll be back. And him and the other Gundams take off.
Yeah, and he's like, the next time we meet, Domon, I'm going to show you mercy now, but next time we meet, you're my enemy, so I'm going to kill you.
And Domon opens his cockpit, and he's all crying and boo-hoo, like, Master Asia, don't leave me, no. And the other, the Shuffle Alliance pilots are like, dude, chill out. Like, you're the King of Hearts. This isn't a way to be acting right now. So, of course, he's like, all right, you're right.
Yeah. And then that's where the episode ends with Domon, except just being like, no, not my master. And the other four of them standing around him going like, man, stop being such a little bitch.
So, what were your thoughts?
Grow up!
What were your thoughts on this episode?
Really good, really fun episode. I was expecting twists, but I was also like dreading it because I was like, no, I like Master Asia. So I was like, damn it, I don't want him to be the villain. But like I had a feeling, and I was like, at some point, when he started disappearing and everything like that, I was like, oh, I don't trust this. So like I was like, ah, damn it. But yeah, it was sad to see Master Asia as the villain. But I found it actually really. I like that struggle him and Domon had when they were like just like grappling with each other.
Yeah,
like it wasn't that much choreography, but like I felt the strongest point of the fight was that it was just the mere fact that it was master versus apprentice. So like that's always like a good like dynamic when you're having a fight between two characters. But yeah, it was actually cool seeing the Shuffle Alliance for the first time because I was like, what the hell are these guys? Like at first I thought I knew who they were because like I thought of my head was like, oh wait, are these like the real like the four Gundam fighters? Like are these like the real ones? Like are these ones like clones or something like that? Like I thought one in my head for a split second. When they changed to these, I was like, oh wait, no, we've never seen these characters before.
Yeah.
And they're the Shuffle Alliance. I'm like, oh, silly but cool. So I was like, yeah, but I like the designs of all of them. I thought they were like really cool looking. Like both their human designs and their Gundam designs, I thought were really awesome. Especially the Joker one. I thought that looked really cool. And like, plus we got a female pilot now because we haven't really had a female pilot besides like Ray in the last episode. But yeah, no, it was cool seeing an actual female pilot show up for once.
Yep.
Yeah, but like, yeah, but it was a good episode. I really liked it.
And so we'll jump into episode 15. Basically, it starts off with Rain bandaging up Domon and the Shuffle Alliance, lecturing him about what it means to be a part of the Shuffle Alliance, how they've been around to try and maintain the peace as best as possible.
Yeah, because like they're like humanity would have destroyed itself if we didn't step in. Like we had to put like some band-aids on like how much warfare, how much battle you guys could do with each other. because you guys kept just going and going and going. You guys would be dead by now. So we're like, we had to do that. So we just figured like when they made the Gundams, we're just like, all right, perfect. There you go. We have to set rules and guidelines or to make sure that we keep like at least some level of chivalry or honor.
Yeah. And so as they're giving their speech and everything to get into this, their Ginyu Force pose.
Ginyu. Wow. All right.
And as they're finishing up talking, a Dark Army soldier unit shows up, tells Delmon that Master Asia is challenging him and that he has to come alone. So everybody's like, no, it's a trap, don't do it and stuff. And he's like, no, I'm going to do it, I don't care. So he throws off his bandages and walks through the center of all the Dark Army as they make a pathway for him. And as he's walking along, we get to see Master Asia talking with the other four, watching Domon's approach.
Yeah, and basically the four of them want to just kill Delmon and just get over with, but Master Asia is like, no, like he could be a worthy asset to us. Like, let me at least see if I could try to coax him to join us first.
Yeah.
Get
And yeah, them being all evil and stuff. And then cuts back to Delmon as he's walking. He has a flashback of a time that he was training with Master Asia. And so they're cooking some like rabbits or something like that. And Master Asia just reaches in, grabs the cooking rabbit out of the fire, and she's like, all right, Delmon, you do it. And of course he burns himself.
Yeah, because Master Asia is telling him that like you have to use your whole being or something like that when you're like using your fists. Like your fist is like basically an extension of like your spirit. Something like according to that.
Yeah, and that's like how you express yourself and everything.
Yeah, exactly. So that kind of like alludes to what Delmon is going to use later in the fight.
Yeah. And then cuts back to reality, and as Delmon approaches, he gets jumped by all four of them again. So they surround him, start attacking him. He jumps up into the tower. They follow him up.
Yeah.
And
freaking down an arm bar.
Yeah.
Bending the freaking metal.
So he manages to break free, and of course the Russian throws the beam at him. He lands on top of it. Then Master Asia attacks him with a freaking sash.
Yeah, and rips
the
it.
Beam in half.
How? I don't understand. What are the powers of this man? I don't get it.
With cloth, he's using it to slice steel in half.
Oh my god. Whatever. I'm accepting it.
Yeah. So Delmon makes his way up to the platform. Of course, he's taking some damage from fighting everybody.
Yeah.
And Master Asia comes forward. You get kind of this flash of the double Gundam. And Master Asia's like, yeah, you got to join us. That's the only way. And so Delmon's like, no, I'm not going to join. So Master Asia does like a spiral attack with his sash. And just before it hits Delmon, he hears the voices of the four Shuffle Alliance members encouraging him to stay strong. And
all the Jedi and uses double lightsabers to take down the Emperor. Oh wait, wrong thing, my bad.
And so Delmon jumps down, lands in his Gundam, activates it, and it's like, I challenge you to a one-on-one combat.
Yeah.
And the other four are like, oh, well, we're going to join in.
Nope.
And the Shuffle Alliance jump them.
Yeah. And one of them like manages to like take out all of them by himself. Not knock them out or anything like that, but like managed to like evade all their attacks and actually get good hits on them. But as he does that, he's like, something feels off. That didn't feel right.
Well, no, all four of them attack each one individually. And
no, I think it was just one of them.
No, each Shuffle Alliance member attacks one of the four friends. And,
okay. For some reason, I thought it was just like the blonde guy that jumped down and punched him or something.
I mean, it was all muddled together, but
okay, interesting.
But yeah, it was like one group attacking the other group,
Oh,
and
okay.
um, so after their initial attack, uh, the four Gundam fighters are kind of like knocked down to the ground, but they're not really injured or anything. They're recuperating, and um, that's when the Shuffle Alliance makes the comment of like, "Hey, something's a little off with this fight." Like,
Yeah, they were saying like when we were punching them, like something felt off. Like something was like we like it didn't feel like we were making like a good impact on any of them.
yeah,
And then it's revealed that like
well,
they like have their
not quite yet.
oh not quite yet. Okay, my bad.
So then it cuts to Delmon and Master Asia fight, and they're going back and forth, throwing machine gun punches at each other and everything.
Yeah.
And then it cuts back to the group being in their getting into their Gundams, and they're fighting with the Shuffle Alliance, and the Shuffle Alliance does another barrage attack, which should have wiped them out. But they stand up, and it's revealed that these four are the new Shuffle Alliance.
Yeah, because when Master Asia got control of them, he sort of gave them, or like, yeah, he sort of like, yeah, but yeah, he kind of sort of he gave them like those roles almost akin to the Shuffle Alliance.
Yeah. So, so the Shuffle Alliance realizes that their time is up, and that they need to fully pass the torch on to this group. So they do decide to launch like an ultimate attack, and which is essentially a suicide run.
Yeah.
They land on him, and then Domon's like blinded by the light, and this is essentially them passing their strength on to the next generation.
Yeah, and like Master Asia kind of references too. He's like, "You idiots! You do realize you're gonna kill yourselves, right?" And they're like, "Well, we'd rather give our lives to save these four and give them our powers than anything else." So
yeah, so we get to see that the Dark Gundam cells start disintegrating off of them, and when the light's done, it's revealed that all the color's been drained out of the Shuffle Alliance Gundams. Domon's like, what the heck just happened? And then you see the cracks forming, and unfortunately, they all fall apart. And Master Asia picks up the face of one of them, crushes it, which drives Domon over the edge.
yeah.
He does a Super Saiyan transformation. Grabs onto Master Asia's head, starts squeezing it, and then does a Kamehameha blast. And knocks Master Asia away.
Yeah.
And,
doesn't destroy him, doesn't kill him, because Master Asia actually manages to escape out of it. And he's like,
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna retreat. This is not working out for me.
Yeah.
So he makes a smart decision, just vamooshes out of there.
Yeah, I think one of his arms was actually destroyed.
Yeah, he's like holding on to one of his arms when he's like leaving. So like Domon still managed to get like a good solid damage on him, but he didn't kill him.
Yeah. And then it cuts back to Domon and the other four waking up and seeing the crests on their hands and like, what the heck does this mean?
Yeah, they're kind of like taken back because like this is the first time they've woken up like since they were taken over by the cells. So they're kind of like, where are we? What happened?
Yeah.
Like the last thing I remember is like Master Asia like meeting up with them and like sending them there, and then that's it.
Yeah. And that's pretty much the end of episode 15.
Yeah, it's just like Delmon is kind of like reminiscing. It's like, all right, you guys have those bonds now, so now we have, or like not really in that. He's just like, all right, I have to take down Master Asia as well alongside my brother. So he has to take down two people that he admired so highly. Right now, he's like his greatest enemies.
Yeah. So overall thoughts of episode 15.
Really, again, I'm repeating myself a lot, but yeah, another great episode. The action was great. It was cool seeing the Shuffle Alliance in action and kind of how OP they were.
Yeah.
Like they would have looked even more badass if the other four didn't have like the crest already on them, thanks to Master Asia. But you can still see how much power they had, like the fact that they could like literally transfer their entire being into another person in order to save them and to, like literally disintegrate the cells was just like, again, what power do people have? I don't understand this.
Yeah.
Slice metal in half with a freaking ribbon. What the hell are you? What? Okay, sure. But yeah, no, it was cool though, and like plus, dude, that final like fight, like that final like struggle between Doma and Master Asia was really awesome. Like seeing Doma just go over the edge and just go Super Saiyan and literally like start crushing the head, just like Rah! And then both both of them yelling. He's like Doma, Master Asia, like that. Like both voice actors like going over the top with it, and yeah, no, it was like a really good episode. I enjoyed it, so I'm looking forward to see what happens next in the next episode.
Yeah. I know soon we're going to get back into like the regular kind of competition before it goes back into dealing with the Dark Gundam and everything. And I know at like the halfway point, we get a pretty cool scene and stuff, which kind of sets the stage for the second half of the series. So yeah, cool episodes, good action, good Gundam fights, all around a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and that'll be the end of this episode.
Yeah, still waiting for my windmill. I'm still waiting for my windmill guy.
It's coming.
Good.
It's coming.
I'm still waiting for him. I'm like, as soon as he shows up, I'm just gonna applaud. I'm just gonna applaud out of nowhere. Just going like this. Yes, he's here. Beautiful.
So, if you're here still watching, appreciate you checking out this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure you hit the like button. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe or follow. It's very much appreciated. Trying to grow the channel. Please share it. Again, we're reviewing Mobile Fighter G Gundam. It's the 30th anniversary of when it was released. And join us again next Friday as we will be talking about episodes 16 through 20.
Yes.
See what kind of craziness we get into then. So, until next time, peace.
Farewell.